Welcome back, everybody, to creating communities for neurodivergent people. Communities in the way of social community, residential community, outside the family home, if possible, and employment community, specifically employment that addresses the skills and talents of the neurodivergent person, and employers that are ready, willing, and able to help out and appreciate the joy of hiring a neurodivergent person. We are joined by my co-host, John McFadden, who's been here before
Yes.
many times,
Yes.
and our honored guest today, Karie Phillips, who's actually in a dual role. Karie is not only a licensed social worker for 20 years, but she's also the sister of Tony, a 40-year-old Down syndrome person who I understand has a wonderful sense of humor. Is that true,
Yes, among
Karie?
other skills and talents that he has, his humor is pretty unparalleled.
So he will come and give us a little stand-up, maybe a little stand-up comedy at some point in time. But okay, we're going to combine the two topics because I think this is really important. Um, so, Karie, I'm just reading from the website, Neuro Authentic Therapy and Coaching,
Yes.
your services in the Colorado area, or I guess online. Um, and with your 20 years of experience, here's how you're focusing. You want to support the neurodivergent individuals of all ages and their families. You want to help them self-advocate and thrive in a world that often overlooks neurodivergent strengths. This is so important when we talk about employment. Karie, did you get into social work? Now, your brother Tony is 40. So, did you get into social work because of Tony and focusing on the neurodivergent community?
Hmm. That's a good question. I'm pretty sure that's just sort of who I was even before my brother. Maybe we were gifted each other for that reason. My grandma tells stories about me taking my little cousins and like herding them up and teaching them stuff from like National Geographic when I was very young. Like, I just want a teacher. I like to put things together. I care a lot about people being happy and healthy, and I think social work was a good fit for me as far as
Abs-
that goes. Yeah.
Um, and what does Tony do?
You mean like who is he? What's he like?
Well, does he work? I think you
You know
said he
about.
does he? Or creative?
Well,
He's an artist.
my brother is a brilliant creator. He is very creative, extremely imaginative. At the moment, he gets a lot of pleasure from making art. He's starting an art business, and he has already created a graphic novel, which almost always stars me in some role of getting, kidnapped by aliens or maybe there's superheroes involved, there's some time travel involved usually. Like he's very, very creative and he puts a lot of humor into his work too. So he's always creating something and he has about 100 different careers and jobs he's interested in. I think the ones that are sticking right now is art. He really has a lot of art. He just did an art show. I think he had like 40 pieces in his art show.
You're kidding.
No. He wants to do
Wow.
also, he wants to create like note cards with his art or other sort of sellable products with his art. Um, and he also is very interested in creating what he's calling a seed business. A few years ago, I had a friend who was dividing up seeds to give away to people who wanted to start gardens, and he got volunteered to help her, and he really loved sorting the seeds. And so he now has like thousands of seeds, and he likes to sort the seeds, and he's making a little business out of that too. So he's got like a logo that he made, and he
Wow.
just wants to spread like the love of growing plants, and he loves seeds. So we go collect seeds a lot, and we're putting it together. He just got a new job coach who said that they could help him with his seed business. We just found that out today. So I'm really excited about that.
That's really wonderful. That
Yeah.
really is wonderful. Now, John, on
Yes.
your side, John, your strength is caring and helping people.
I love that.
Correct. Yep.
And say what you do now in your apartment building. Say what you do.
Oh, I help the people, like I take them to the grocery store. I help them when they like take them to doctor's appointments and stuff like that. Help carry the groceries upstairs and things and sit with them for a little bit and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Because the
wonderful.
yes, and Carrie, the reason why he can do this is because the neighborhood that he lives in is walkable.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And so he's able to do that. Interesting with John, always, and you're going to laugh, John, extremely social.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Back from 20 some years ago when you started working at the grocery store,
Hmm.
um, and it's in a high traffic area where he did live.
Yeah.
And somehow, and I call you this, you don't really want the title, but I called you the mayor.
Oh, the mayor. Yeah.
The mayor of Venetia, the mayor of Washington County.
Yeah.
Because when I go back to Pittsburgh to visit with my sister and John and all my other relatives, what happens, John, when we go to the mall or
Uh,
any store?
Somebody knows who I am all the
This
time.
is so familiar. I
Yeah.
can imagine that, John. I'm sure it's the same with my brother. Everywhere
Yeah.
we go, somebody knows him or he knows somebody. Or and if
Yeah.
they don't, they just love talking to him too. So
Yeah.
feels like the paparazzi always. That's awesome.
Yes.
No, it really does. And as I talk about you need a social community, well, there are some people that if they stay home and don't work, your social community is only the people in your house. And
Yeah.
it's a really tiny social community. So John, if when you were living with your mom, it's in a condominium complex, well,
Yeah.
townhouse complex,
The
right?
townhouse. Yeah. It's
And
the
s-
same thing.
and so when you were there, though,
Yeah.
you knew a lot of people. How did that happen?
Oh, just I worked at Giant Eagle and at the time and stuff like that. And
I
uh
mean, where your mom lived,
oh,
where
where I
you
live?
lived until earlier this year. Yeah.
Oh, I just talk to people outside and stuff, things like that.
Because, and here's the point, the house was in a complex, an area where he could meet people, where he wasn't just relying on his mother to take him places although she did, and you had
Mhm.
lots of outings, but it
Yeah.
was an environment, and I think this is really important. This is where I'm going, and I'm going to ask you about housing in a second, Carrie, because it was set up so that John could walk around very safe, didn't have to worry about being abducted.
No.
Um, and people are outside taking out the garbage. There's a pool there, and you went down there and talked to people.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about a residential area and a social community on your own independently, Carrie, don't people have to live in an area where they're accessible to other people,
Well, yeah, that would help
I,
a lot for sure.
ideally? How
I
do
think,
you deal
yeah,
with that?
if you're talking about like the adult community who maybe doesn't drive, that's a big deal, right? So my brother, for a while, he did get to live in an apartment with another gentleman that had Down syndrome. They had a lot of workers that would come and our parents, their parents. And so with a lot of support, they lived in an apartment complex. But it was tricky because basically we had to tell them like, don't talk to people, don't let anybody in your house, don't answer the door, because they're also very vulnerable to being taken advantage of. So it was tricky. They moved around the community. My brother got really good at taking the bus. It was a small community in California. He got good at taking the bus. He did have jobs. It took a lot of support from other people, but he had a measure of independence that I don't think most people thought would happen. Um,
Really?
yeah. And but it ultimately it didn't turn out to be a sustainable situation. It was just a lot for everybody. And it was actually a lot of emotional toll on my brother as well. So I think ideally what I'm really excited to is communities that are being intentionally created to support adults who are neurodivergent or have maybe intellectual disability or other issues where, they need also a safe emotional environment rather than just a home and quote unquote independence, because independence can also be very lonely as well. So I think, in all the iterations of places that people can live, I think that emotional safety is a really, really big deal for people and, those that care for them. So I'm hoping we're getting better at that. I've seen some great examples. There's a lot of not great examples, as you guys probably know. Um,
Well, I want to go back to safe environment. John, do you
Yeah.
feel safe or unsafe? Talk about that a second.
Um, well, I feel a little bit safe on my own and stuff. But like before I didn't, so but now I feel pretty safe now.
Do you, really? Okay,
Hmm.
so here's what happened. My sister was a basket case. When he was moving out, she completely fell apart.
Yeah.
And she says to me, call him every day, call him more than once a day. And so I'm like, okay, he'll kill me if I do that.
Oh
So, but I
yes.
started calling more, and he says, Aunt Judy, you're calling entirely too much.
Too much.
Thanks, but no thanks. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was funny. Um, but you seem to adjust really well, John.
Yeah. Hmm.
And you know enough people. Carrie, the point you raised is an important point, and it's raised by every single parent. And that is the safe versus unsafe, worrying about whether they're going to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Was there a situation where Tony really was taken advantage of that you can
Well,
recall?
well, there's a lot of small things that come to mind. Like somebody would say, "Hey, I really like your video game system. Can I borrow it?" And he'd be like, "Great," because he really wants friends and he really wants to fit in. And suddenly his electronics were disappearing, his iWatch disappeared, and things like that. And of course, when we ask him about it, he's like, "I don't know," because he knows he'll be in trouble because he's not supposed to share those things.
Mm-mm.
So, things like things we teach people like, oh, share and take turns and be kind and all that kind of stuff. Well,
Yeah.
also it can backfire, right? Has that happened to you, John? You're nodding.
No, but like that's a very good point because some of the people like your brother, they don't know. And see, I know the difference between somebody taking advantage of somebody else because I see it like in my building sometimes.
Mm.
But I know never ever ever let anybody borrow something or
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know, like
it's a tough
yeah,
one. In our family,
yeah.
sharing and borrowing is a really big value. And we
Hmm.
all, are very respectful and careful about that. But it took him a while. I think he knows
Yeah.
better now, but I don't know. Also, we really tried to help him learn to take Uber, so he could get around better, but several times he was overcharged or taking the wrong route or taking a really long route
Mhm.
that was unnecessary, and we had to call the company and complain and try to get refunds and stuff like that. So, there's some sheltered transportation organizations here that may use Uber and other things like that, but um, it's not very efficient yet. Like we have like Access-a-Ride here,
Well,
and it's
hold,
not very efficient.
well, hold on a minute. My understanding of Uber, and I've only taken it like once or twice.
Hmm.
My understanding of Uber is you key in the addresses, you use your cell phone, you key in the addresses, and you're given a rate or a cost. And so that it's to prevent what people thought taxi cab drivers were doing, which was
Mhm.
exactly what you just described, Carrie, going a
Mhm.
longer route, thinking the customer won't notice, charging them more. But I didn't think Uber could do that.
Mm. I hope not. I don't really know what happened, honestly. That's also a really tricky thing about my brother is he can't always explain things very well, which is
That's
another reason why he can be more vulnerable. Because if something happens, he'll tell us his best version of what happened, but we will never really know exactly what happened. And so
Yeah.
that can be tricky.
Hmm.
so. What's the best living situation that you can see right now for your brother? And where is he living now?
Oh yeah. Well, funny you ask. He just moved into a host home
That's what I
about
wanted you to
10
talk
days
about, the
ago.
host home. Okay, okay. I'm so sorry. Yes, the host home. I definitely wanted to talk about that. What
Yeah.
is that?
My brother just moved into a host home about 10 days ago. And so we're all getting used to that one. That's a new thing for him and all of our friends and family community. He'll be well, that's not true. He's the second person that we know. Um, in this case, this host home is a family who lives pretty nearby. All of their kids and grandkids are around, but are out of the house, and they just have a lot of love to give. And so they have a space that he feels really comfortable in, and they're very close. They're very open. Like our family's very open and supportive. We do a lot of activities together, and so does theirs. Those are their family values too. And so what it does for Tony is it gives him some space from his immediate family, but it's still in a pretty supportive environment. And that host home family is supported by an organization whose responsibility it is to make sure that all my brother's needs are met. So it's not our responsibility to make sure that they're doing their job. It's the bigger organization's responsibility, and then we get to be support people, ideally.
Carrie, what's the organization? The name of it?
Every I don't know if every state or every county or city is different. And in
Okay.
Colorado, where we live, there are several counties that are in charge of making sure that adults with, in my brother's case, intellectual disability, you get their basic needs met. And then those companies funnel money to what is called a PASA. And I don't know that I remember what that means. It's PASA. There's like many, many, many PASAs. And the PASA's job is to get the money from the state and give it to whoever is taking care of the living situation. So John, what is your situation? Is it like a individual residence or a home that has more
It's
people?
actually uh it's like a waiver program.
Right. So yeah, my brother's is a waiver program too.
Yeah.
Do you have roommates or housemates?
No, I just live by myself.
Okay. So yeah, it could be a variety of things that come from, the PASA can support. So it depends on
Yeah.
what level of support people might need or what level of independence they're looking for.
Okay.
For my brother, we decided not to go the route of him trying to live in an apartment with outside people coming in for the reason that you said earlier, because
Yeah,
our
because
experiences, they were not very reliable or well trained. Even with the biggest hearts in the world, they might not have the supports or the training they need to do, to make sure that he's good. My brother can be very tricky.
yeah.
He's very fun and very nice, but he really needs people who know how to meet him where he's at. Um,
Carrie, can he cook?
that's a great question. He can do a lot of things, which is why it's tricky when people are trying to evaluate or assess how independent he can be. Because yes, he can cook some things, but is he consistently safe about it? No.
Like, for instance, what's not
For
safe?
instance, when he lived on his own for a while, he was supposed to make a recipe with his roommate, and then he went to day program and they reported back that he brought raw chicken for lunch. He started cooking it, but he didn't finish cooking it all the way, or something happened. Do
I'm
you know what I'm
sorry,
saying?
that's really funny.
Right. Or like he puts something in the microwave, he pushes two zeros instead of one, and now the microwave's blowing up. He's really good at a lot of things, but it's easy for him to overlook small things. And so in some evaluations that we've done when they're trying to assess like his level of care or level of basically funding for his wellness, if
Yes.
they ask questions like, can he cook? First of all, if he's in the room, he's going to be like, absolutely, I can do all this stuff by myself. Leave me alone. So then they're like, great, he has a low support level. And then we're like, hold on a minute. It took us a while to figure out how to explain this correctly. his, like, one of the psychologists finally helped us. He said just because he can do something with a lot of support, or just because he can do something because he has it memorized, doesn't mean he can individually problem solve or troubleshoot everything that could happen that could really be a safety issue.
I
Does
get
that
it.
make sense?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. John,
Yeah.
before you left your mother's house and moved into your apartment, what were you doing in the area of cooking? What did you make for yourself, if anything?
I really didn't make anything. Mom did all the cooking.
Right. You just kind of heated things up, you used the
Yeah.
microwave and all
Hmm.
that. So, but
Yeah.
now in your apartment, how much cooking do you do?
What? Oh, meal planning.
Meal planning?
Yeah.
Okay. But if something has to be cooked in the meal, what's your level of proficiency in cooking? Like what things do you cook?
We cook chicken, sometimes pasta. Um, like like going to like get a bit like frozen vegetables and stuff like that. I can only cook certain things, and then I can I try to do other things that are easier.
Like
So do you
eggs?
use like a pan and a
Yeah, like
pot,
I can
microwave
make
oven?
eggs. Hmm.
So say what you said. Ask the question again, Carrie.
Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. Sorry. I was wondering, so it sounds like you can use the frying pans or the pots on the stove. And then what
Yeah,
do you think about using the oven to like bake things or cook things?
yeah.
Do you use the oven?
Hmm.
Do you?
Yeah, I used it the other day. I baked some me and Miss Kate, we baked some chicken in it.
Nice.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
Kate is off camera and she
She's
is
just
his
sitting over here.
lovely, wonderful, sweet Aide.
Hmm.
Welcome and welcome aboard, Kate.
Yes, thank you for being a great one.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Um, okay, so sounds I'm interested. I'm curious about how the host home is going to work out because first of all, it does sound like Tony needs daily support. Um, And with that is getting out of the house and socializing part of the support, Carrie.
Hmm. Definitely. So the kind of the whole of his life right now is he has a day program that he goes to 4 days a week, and that is an art-based day program. So he does a
Oh,
ton of his art at the day program, but they also have daily outings. And there's 2 outings a day, and the people in the program get to choose what outings they want to do, when, and how. So there's usually kind of a big outing, like maybe to a museum or to the zoo. And then there's smaller outings, like to the dollar store or to, like, he loves going to a video game store
mm-hmm.
here. Um, and so he has the opportunity both to socialize and program, but then also to get out in the community and get around and do things. And they're also allowed to suggest things. Like they can say, like he wanted to go to, in Denver, we have Meow Wolf, which is a really interactive, awesome art kind of
Mm.
like museum. If you've seen or heard Meow Wolf, there's nothing like it. But he really wanted to go, and so his day program organized an outing, and him and some of his friends got to go.
That's really nice. Now,
Yeah.
does he, but so he does have friends? Can
Oh,
he call somebody up and just talk?
good question. Can we get back to that in a second? I
Sure.
was
No.
going to finish my thought
Oh, I'm
about.
so sorry. Go right ahead.
You had asked about socializing. So another thing that we were really lucky to find. Now just a little background. He's been living with me for about 3 years. And it was really, really hard to find all these things. It was not like you just open up a little yellow pages, that shows how old I am, but, and find all the things for him. Like it took years to get the supports that we found and to get him qualified for them. But what I was going to say is there is a rec center in his neighborhood that has amazing supports, and it's called Adaptive Inclusive Recreation of Thornton. And there's a wonderful woman there named Becky Post. She has gone above and beyond to organize recreational activities. And so they do sports, all the things you can do at the rec center. They have inclusive and adaptive classes and lessons that are supportive and safe. And they also do tons of field trips and outings, and then Friday night fun nights. And all of these things are where anyone with any sort of special needs or disabilities, young or old, can go and participate to the level of their ability and desire. And so he now is in that. He's doing Special Olympics, and he's also doing these social activities through this adaptive recreation program at the recreation center.
Okay, so this
Plus,
is
our family does a lot of stuff.
do they? So this is totally cool because I've had other people on the show that have talked about, and you've met them, John, when you've been part of the
Oh yeah.
interviews, people that really say how important it is that community is established outside the home.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Um, and even in on your website, Karie, you talked about neurodivergent affirming therapy and customized group work that you have intention to work on because it improves children's emotional regulation, social skills, and engagement challenges, meaning connecting with people. And that all talks about the importance of community outside of the home.
Absolutely.
And and John, you can speak to this as somebody
Yeah.
who's in it, and that
Yeah.
is how important is it
It's
that
very
you
important
keep going? Explain.
because if you stay at home and you like shut you sh like people don't like and you close yourself in and stuff, people you hide that you're lonely and stuff because you're different. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're different and you think people are going to treat you differently because you have a certain disability or like your Down syndrome and people like that. Um, it's very important to be social because some people understand and some people just don't understand. You know, you just got to do it, I think, and that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
How
I think
has, go ahead, Karie.
hi.
Go ahead.
Another lens that I'm trying to balance too is as we're learning to better regulate ourselves, everybody, those of us who are late discovered neurodivergent as well, we talk a lot about self-regulation and meeting our nervous system needs. And also understanding that personality wise, some people are thrive more from lots of socializing and social events and getting out of the house, and some people get really drained by that, and some people like me has both. So what I've had to do is learn my own needs and be able to say like, wow, I really need to get out of the house right now. I've been home too long. I'm getting restless. I need to talk to other people. I need to see some fresh air. But also I need to be able to say, you know what? I'm supposed to do this social event, but I am exhausted. If I go to this social event, I'm going to be burnt out for days. Like I have to say no, thank you. And so that's something we tried to really encourage my brother to do too, as we're remembering and learning to do that. Because we used to feel like you could never say no. And you can't ever stay home. And you also, you know, all of those things. So it's a little bit more than just having the opportunity to get out. It's figuring out what's best for what you need right now. And that's tricky, I think, really tricky sometimes for everybody. But I try to support my brother in that too. Like, what does your body need? What does your rest need right now? What are your social needs right now? And how do you know? What do you think, John? I'm super curious. Like, how do you know when you need to get out of the house and when you should just rest?
Oh, when I have, let's see, I get like real like anxious to get out of the house for a little bit. And then when I'm out and I do my thing and then go, oh, I'm so tired. I can't, because it helps me to get to get out in the community and just be outside for a couple hours a day or something like that. Because I don't feel like closed in. Like I don't feel like, closed and stuff like that. Hmm.
When you
Question.
Sorry.
No,
I mean,
you got no. I'd rather listen to you. I know him.
I just have one more question. So, how do you know, John, if you've been what was the other? Oh yeah. If you are in the house too long and you start to feel anxious, is there anything else like that happens? I think you were saying sometimes you start to feel like you don't belong or that
Yeah,
wrong with you or
yeah. Like
you have
I just think of like negative
mm,
like energy and
a
stuff.
negative spiral happens when you're in the
Yeah,
house too long alone.
yeah.
I think my brother would relate because he'll say like, "Oh, I just want to be alone. I just want to be alone. I just want time to myself." But I
Hmm.
know, like I have that spidey sense, the sister sense that if that goes
Yeah,
on for a day or two, that he starts getting really negative, and that's one of the ways that I know. And then it's kind of hard for him to get out of it because he'll get in a really negative space and then he really doesn't want to socialize or get out of the house. And
right.
so we're trying to catch it before then,
Mhm.
before he starts to get those negative spirals. I'm glad to hear that you experienced that too. It's not
Yeah, I do.
him
I
or
do.
me.
Yeah.
I have a question of both of you, and it's come up before. When you're in a larger family group, a holiday setting where there are a ton of people, two things happen. It's noise. It's a lot of sound and a lot of stimulation. Is that a problem for you, John and Carrie? Is that a problem for you and or your brother? And then there's part two of this, and that is when you're in those holiday family moments, do people talk to you? And do people talk to Tony? Do people talk to you, John? Carrie, why don't you take this first?
Okay. I don't know about you, John, but we have a really big family and they're really, really loud. Like really loud. I didn't know how that made me feel in the past because it's the way it's always been. And so as I've been trying to learn to support my needs and needs of my clients, needs of my brother better, I've had to ask myself those questions. And it's stirred a lot of problems up in the family because in my family, if you don't show up, first of all, that's like not good. And
Mhm.
second of all, if you show up but you're being quiet or you're just sitting on the side, then people start saying something wrong or they even assume something negative. And so my family is like everyone had to be all the way in all the time. And it just didn't work for us. So, I think a little at a time, we're all learning to take it down a notch if we need to, and just communicate about it. Because sometimes it feels great to get super excited and really loud and really laugh and get crazy together. But sometimes we just want to like be quieter together or do like arts and crafts or watch a show or do something that's not so over the top. And we're learning to do that as a whole family, really, because it took a while to believe that we didn't all have to get together, like all 50 of us in one place every time. Like, what if we do some smaller group things that can help us regulate our nervous system a little better? I would
So
say, go ahead.
I wanted, because we're starting to run out of time. I wanted to ask John. So when we were in holiday gatherings at the dinner table,
Yeah.
and you would be the first to leave the table,
Yeah.
why?
Because everybody ignored me. Like my brother and sister, they would talk amongst themselves and they would just ignore me. I would sit there and they didn't ask me any questions. They didn't want to know what's going on with me or anything. So that I just left the table and I can't do it.
Mm,
Well, the family gatherings were comprised by my mother, me, my sister, sometimes my brother if he was in town, and then John has two siblings, and my mother when she was living. She only
Yeah.
died a few years ago. So small room, that was enough people for sound. Your mom said that one of the reasons why you left the table was because it was just too loud and too overstimulating. Is that
Hmm.
right? Do you agree, or do you think she's,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah. Because when I get stimulated like Kate knows, I don't, it's too much for me. Yeah, so for example, we just went to the zoo. Kate and I went to the zoo and she said, are you okay? Is it too much? And I said, let me do it. And then I did it a little bit, and I said, okay, it's time to go.
Yes.
Like I said, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Something that the zoo is a perfect example of something that we did. From the moment we got there to the moment we left, we would stop in quieter areas, and John and I would have check-ins with each other.
Hmm.
And I made sure that when he said it was time to go, we respected that. We found a quick route that wasn't crowded, wasn't overly loud, so we could exit to avoid that overstimulation. And then when we got back from the zoo, we very much decompressed.
Yeah,
Yes.
And so his transition into the evening was a lot easier.
I
yeah.
love that. Yep. We do the
Kate,
same
that's
exact
so
thing.
professional. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Kate, get back on camera a second. Come back here. That was great.
Yeah.
Where did you learn this?
Something about me, I am actually autistic myself. I am very high on the spectrum. I also suffer from some mental health disorders, and I'm currently in my first year of university and to get my bachelor's of a psychology degree. So
Amazing.
I wanted to learn about things like this, and being a caregiver is not just a job to me. It is something I hold very close to my heart. And I have put so much time and effort into learning about neurodivergent skills, neurodivergent communities, coping skills, anything to make the day a little bit easier because I know how overwhelming literally just putting your feet on the floor in the morning can be.
Wow.
Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
And then when I finish my bachelor's, my goal is to still work within the field of disabilities, but I want to be a behavioral therapist, to shed light on people that are deemed problems or children, especially. I hold troubled kids close to my heart. I want to give people a safe space to be able to learn how to work through those behaviors because sometimes it's not a behavior, it's an overstimulation. It's my clothes are feeling weird that day and I don't like it. It's my foot touched the wrong thing that day. It's a food texture. There's
Yes.
so many different things that are overlooked, and so many people don't care to pay enough attention to it.
Yes. Yes, Kate, bless you.
I'm blown away.
I'm so happy.
I'm blown away. We
Yes.
are very lucky. John is very lucky to have you.
Yes, ma'am. I've
Wow.
been quietly sitting off to the side, listening to this. I wanted to touch back on what you guys were talking about living on his own. Something that John and I do daily is we work on learning skills,
Yep.
and then we work on meal planning to where we make meals, lunches, and dinners for however many days, but we do it together. So yesterday we meal prepped about 3 days worth of food. John made sweet sausages while I prepped vegetables, and we traded off task and then we switched off for dishes and everything. We kind of coincide. So it's not just one person taking on a task, but John is also learning really, really important life skills, and I am there to help guide him. And I step back quite a lot and just let him go forward.
That's wonderful.
I I feel lucky that you're here today, unexpected, and you're so brilliant. You're so in touch. Carrie, what do you think?
I think this is what happens when neurodivergent people get to learn how to take care of our own needs. We are extremely empathic, empathetic, caring people, and we can
Yes.
heal the world. We just need to not be, put on the side or deemed
one
a
of my
problem.
favorite one of my favorite poems that I carry so close to my heart, especially within the field of work that I am in, is there's so much hate in this world that a little bit of kindness can make a flower grow in the darkest places. And
Oh,
I don't know who the author is, it was anonymous, but I found this poem like 2 years ago when I first started my journey into healthcare. And it's something that I keep in the back of my mind daily because it's true. There's so much hate and ignorance in this world that a little bit of kindness can go so, so far.
Hmm.
you are
Well, it sounds like
wiser.
go ahead.
I was going to say you are wiser than your years.
Thank you.
Sounds like
I'm actually 23 and I hear that quite a lot from people. And it always makes me feel very good. So thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you for doing what you're doing and
Thank
encouraging
you for
others.
thank
Yeah,
you for doing what you do.
yeah. It's wonderful that you can just say who you are and what you do and why, and that's how we move forward without so much stigma, right?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
so much stigma around the neurodivergent communities and people with disabilities. It's some of it is absolutely amazing. I've seen so many different communities come together to uplift one community, but I've also seen how a fragment of hatred can come in and disperse it.
Mhm.
It hurts my heart to see that, but then that also makes me as a person want to work harder to show people like John and your brother and other people that I hold very close to my heart that there is kindness in this world and there is safety. We just have to learn how to navigate it in a more
Yeah.
comfortable way to where we don't have to push ourselves to meet society standards, where we just need to stop, go a little bit slower, and take a deep breath.
We're creating that community. That's the whole
Yes.
point here, right?
Thank you
Hmm.
for saying that, Carrie,
I'm gonna
because
add
you are
two,
We're doing
one
it.
more thing.
Yes,
One
honey.
more thing, Aunt Judy.
Yes, yes, sweetie.
So your brother is in Special Olympics?
My brother?
Yes,
Yes,
he's in
he
Special
just
Olympics.
got
So when I'm gonna tell you something. You know the WWE, the wrestling organization, they support people that are in Special Olympics. They support uh like people with disabilities, and they do wonderful. Like the wrestlers come out and they meet the people at the Special Olympic events and things like that. They're really good with that. And then the second person is an artist named Jelly Roll. He's very supportive in the uh
But
disability field.
special needs communities.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
that's amazing.
And he goes to his concert. If you go to his concerts, uh he makes time for people, that are different and everything like that.
That are
So
Yeah.
special, that are
special, I
very
mean,
special, very
special, yes.
special, be good. Jelly Roll is the what? He's kind of country, kind of
He's
rock,
kind of like he's country and like rap, like a little bit of rap. He's like everything.
a lot of tattoos on the face.
Yeah, on his
I
face.
know who
Yeah.
you mean. Do you know who
Yeah.
we're talking about, Carrie? Have you seen
I've
Jelly
seen him.
Roll?
I don't know him too well, but yeah.
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 Okay, this couldn't have gone better. I mean, just Carrie, after the chicken emergency the other day,
Thanks for
Carrie
your
was supposed
understanding.
to do an interview the other day, but she had a chicken emergency on a farm. And then we have Kate. We have Kate who joined us today,
Yep.
and look at how inspirational and intuitive
I just
she
can't.
was.
Yeah, I just can't get rid of her. I'm ready for 4 o'clock.
I think you need to
Don't
lock
get
the
rid of her.
door and not let her out. That's
Um,
what you need to
that
do.
actually helps me think of one answer to a question you had earlier, and that is what is the best case scenario? I think the best case scenario is training that will allow all of these people who have huge hearts that are being aides and are being support
Mm,
people to be able to be really neurodivergent affirming and to be able
right.
to be very person centered and to have the skills and the self regulation they need to do their jobs well because a lot of them are not paid well, not supported
No,
well.
they're not.
They take the job because they have a lot of other things going on and it can be very challenging. So just like teachers, I believe that supporting the supporters is one of the very best things we can do. And I'm happy to do that. Like I will do trainings, I will volunteer, I'll do whatever I can. And I've done that for my brother's organizations, just helping the helpers. Like just
Help
give them a little bit more support if that's what they need. Or
and
let them shine the way they shine.
right. And there's also, just in conclusion, a segment on your website, Carrie, where you do focus on self-care for the caregivers, whoever the caregivers are,
My
self-care.
goodness.
So you brought up education and support so that they can do the best jobs for all of us that they can do. And then for those who are the caregivers, you have to take care of
Oh
yourself.
my goodness.
Yeah.
And we have to co-care. There's self-care, but there's also co-care, like getting care in community.
Um,
Sometimes what you need is to not be by yourself. You need to be cared
Hmm.
for by others too. So
Yeah.
She's back
Go
again.
ahead, Kate. Yes, a word.
Um, Sorry. You touched on trainings for caregivers and learning to take care of ourselves. As someone in the field, the burnout can come very, very quickly, and it can be disguised as so many different things.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful with the company that I work for that, especially my management team, if I go to them and I just need a day, they are so great at being like, okay, what's going on? Can we support you in any way? I truly do believe that a lot of aides and caregivers, even not just in disability communities, but also like facility settings, group homes and everything, we need more training programs and more
Yes.
training opportunities instead of just what's been done for years because everybody's needs are evolving so much more, and we need employers to not make us feel guilty when we need to take a moment or a day to take care of us, because if we can't take care of us, we can't take care of our people.
Yes. So well said.
Thank you.
And also, you need to not be thrown under the bus when something happens and you weren't given
Yeah.
proper supports for it to start with.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Is
I've
it
been in
for
all
you?
those places. I've been volunteer aide, I've been a counselor, I've been in child welfare. I know burnout intimately, especially as a person who didn't know my own regulation needs and
It,
was very overwhelmed very fast and took
it,
everything personally. I've
oh,
been there.
yeah. A book that I found that I still love and that I encourage almost everyone that I meet to read is The Survival Guide for Empaths, because it's very much based for neurodivergent people. And it teaches you coping mechanisms, it teaches you how to ground yourself. A lot of the grounding techniques that I actually use with John come from that book.
Huh?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
He's like, really?
Oh.
It's really nice and it's very informational and it allows you to stop and take a look into yourself and teach you new ways to take care of yourself.
Mm,
We
So,
both wrote this down. Carrie and I both wrote this down,
thank you.
Kate. I will be I will be online ordering it.
you
Oh,
can get it
golly.
through Amazon. And if you have a
Okay.
Kindle, I believe it is on
Uh,
Kindle Unlimited.
Okay. Well, geez.
she's old school. She doesn't download. She likes the book.
That's okay, so do
No.
I.
She
Well,
doesn't
he
download
is
anything.
right. I do
She
like
does
holding
it.
a book.
She
I
likes
do too.
holding a paper
So
book.
do I. I'm very much a reader myself, and as much as I love my Kindle app, there's nothing better than holding an actual book.
And
I
it
do.
happened in the music industry, unfortunately, with all the wonderful things Steve Jobs
It,
did to take away that CD or that album, that record. It took a lot of
hmm
pleasure away,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because something tactile. John's a music connoisseur.
Oh, I love it.
I mean,
And I
that's
can
one
tell
of,
you,
go
that's
ahead.
one of
What,
my pet. That's what my one of my pet peeves because when you download an album, like you get to see that one picture, and then they play the whole song. When you have the actual album, it's they have all the pictures in it. They
Mm,
have the song titles. They come in different colors. There's certain,
mm.
you know, formats. Like you get like all kinds of different CDs and vinyls, and it's just amazing to just hold it in your hand.
Yes. Yes, that
Yeah.
is such a real thing. My
Yeah,
brother
like
too, and me too. I actually got all my CDs back out and bought a CD player so that I
yeah.
play
And
it the way
act
that I liked it and look at all the pictures and read all the words and
uh-huh. And
have the
then
whole experience. And my
yeah, and
brother
then
collects videos. He loves like DVDs and even
mhm.
VHS. He loves it. And my mom used to get so frustrated and try to make him get rid of them, and he gets so upset. But he likes to have to be able to see them, to hold them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff included. I love that you said that, John. Thank you.
Yes.
Very validating for both of us.
Yes.
yes, I don't think those people in the tech world understood how important art and something tactile was to hold, because listening to music just isn't about what's going in the ears. What John said and what you affirmed, Carrie, is true. You've gotten rid of the artist who used to do the graphics on
Yep.
the covers, and that was really cool. And then something that became very important for you, John, you can speak to
Yeah.
that a second, and that is when your vocabulary increased exponentially, it was at a point where you were having the liner notes, a couple different ways, but
Yeah.
the liner notes from the CD jackets, and you're listening to the song and looking at words, and all of a sudden your vocabulary popped.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all of this is important. Okay, this was great. I love when things turn out unexpected. This is so cool.
It's so cool.
Karie, thank you for joining us.
It was such a pleasure.
You're a delight. You're an absolute delight. And please bring Tony on sometime.
Anytime, believe me, he's ready.
Okay, we'll schedule a time. And John, the
Yes.
greatest co-host in the world. Thank you.
It
You're
was
welcome.
such a pleasure to meet you too, John. I was able
Thank
to
you.
talk to your aunt, but I hope we get to talk to you more too. I really am
Yeah.
excited about what you're doing, and I want to learn a lot more about you. It sounds like you have a lot of cool interests and skills and talents and a lot that you're bringing to the world. So thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll
Thank you.
do we'll do a family interview.
Wouldn't that be fun?
John and me, you and Tony. We'll do family. And we'll, of
Yeah.
course, Kate, who is now family, will have to join us. Kate,
Yeah, I
pop your
still
head in
can't
here
kick
a
her
second
out.
and say
Every day she
goodbye.
comes and bothers me.
Kate is new on the block to me, but
Yeah.
so happy you're here. All right. Thank you both. And also thank you to everybody listening. Hope you enjoyed this because it took a turn that I didn't expect, and it was a great turn. But in conclusion, I will end with, and in the world of community, in the world of special needs, we all need each other. Talk to you next week.